This is my garden. This is my backyard. And this garden is different than a church garden because the church garden was raised beds. This is a regular leveled, improved soil with Chinese beds. We do not plant in rows, we plant in blocks. The first thing is our leeks. Again, we planted about 40,000 seeds in this area, and they grow. We keep pulling out, they expand, and every week we keep pulling out. We have pulled out maybe 10 times so far. The leeks are now getting thicker and bigger and bigger as we pull out. This is late in the season. We only have about 3 more weeks before our frost. Leeks, my favorite vegetable to grow. My next vegetable is Swiss chard. My leaves are much larger than the one in the church garden. Let's see how big the leaves are. Let me pull one. About 30 inches tall. And every week we pick a big bundle of these leeks. A Swiss chard. This is a very productive crop. We grow them about 14 inches apart. The next crop is mustard. This is the second crop. I do not think it would do too well. This was tomatoes. Was here before, and they did very poorly. I'm never going to grow any more volunteer tomato plants again. The next one is beets. Beets mainly takes a long time to grow, and you have to water it very frequently to get a big beet. Maybe you can, well, these are not, I had one beet, well, that were a double beet. Here's a beet. This is how we like to grow them, right here. And just recently, we've been starting to pick them. This is shallots, which is a week old. They're starting to come up here and here. And no, I guess that's not one. And this is 3 days old. This is garlic. And we'll harvest them next summer. These will stay in the ground all winter. As you can see, little shallot. This is my tomatoes. And maybe you can see I use a different tomato cage system. I use steel mesh, construction mesh, which I put in a circle. It's a cylinder, and I use them year after year. These cylinders are about 20 years old, and they support a lot of tomatoes. And of course, I have little parsley worms. Hi there, worm. Yesterday, I counted 6 worms. Here's one. Here's another one over here. Okay. Yeah, and these are my plates I use for amaryllis. I have just brought in my amaryllis into the house so they can go dormant for until springtime. This is cilantro. The cilantro has gone to seed, and I use the seed for next year. It's coriander seed. Hopefully we'll get a crop this year. I'm not sure if we will. Okay. Next crop is beans, which is about finished. We had a good crop this year of beans. The next crop is turnips, and I planted it about 3 weeks ago. And I probably won't get any turnips, but next week I will be thinning out the plants to get turnip greens, which they need to be thinned out anyway. Here's another view of the beets, as you can see. And here is more of our kale, which needs to be repicked again. And over here we have I like to grow my own celery. And this is the second year's celery, which is, well, this is the first year's celery, and next year we'll have seed. And we like to eat the celery seed. I like to grow my own celery, and I get a large production. I plant it very close together. The only trouble with celery is that it's a swamp plant, and it has to be watered twice a day. And that's kind of hard. Continuing on, this is my sweet corn, which, as you can see, I've already harvested it. And I have my kernels of sweet corn. As you can see, it did not. I did not get much kernels. Excuse me. This is popcorn, and the reason why is I think corn has to be planted in a block, so more of the seeds can be germinated. That's why we got so few kernels of corn on it, popcorn on it. This is a colored popcorn, and I just picked it out of the popcorn and planted it. This is my squash. It's at the end of its life cycle. It's bugs. It squash bugs on it, and I was going around to each leaf looking for its eggs. As you can see, here's some squash I have, but it's coming to the end of the cycle, and this was all full of squash. You notice it has more or less died. Okay, here. It was full. It died off because of rust, like this. And then it came back again. Here's some more of my Swiss chard. And I'd like to show you how big the leaves are this year. This is a meal in itself. And as you can see, they're big. And it's quite tall up to here. Very productive year of Swiss chard. I've never had a year quite this good. And we had a drought. This is my strawberries. I had a bad year of strawberries last year because the year before I had a rat come in and he was eating my strawberries, and I got mad, so I pulled up all my strawberry plants except for 2. And so these plants are all coming in again from 2 plants right here. And the last thing is raspberries. We grow raspberries. As you can see, it's near the end of the season, but we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 on this plant. The other plants, as you can see, they've already been picked, harvested. And I give this to my dear wife, Alicia, to eat, because she likes them, and I give them to her. So this is the end of the season for my raspberries. Right. And across over here, I planted tomatoes in a tomato cage, but it was a disaster. So next year, I hope to put this into raspberries. We'll see how they work in the shade.